Hi, I'm Joe from Joe Practice, and today we're going to be working on footwork and punches in the proper placement of your feet while you're punching, and of course balance and defense. We're going to try to get this all together. There has been a few people who have mentioned to me that they don't necessarily like this reverse style for punching, but this is just for the younger guys, the guys that are coming up, the people who are just getting into the sport and don't know how to punch. This is just a good way into some good habits and turning over punches. I mean, my style is like this. I like a Roberto Duran style, you know what I mean? Kind of like stalking, always ready to either make a defensive move or an offensive move. This particular style, it's not necessarily my style, but I think it's a great way to learn how to punch and turn over your punches. But right now we're going to work on just a couple of little drills and go from there. Hopefully we can figure out where your balance is, do a little bit of stepping, moving around in proper placement. The first drill that we're going to be doing is going to be a stationary punching drill. Now remember, right now we're just working on balance and stance. And what we're doing now is just transferring our weight from the back to the front, from the back to the front. And what that's good for is figuring out where your best balance is. You might not necessarily think that this close ready stance is the best for you, and if it's not working for you, you don't have to use it. I mean, there's no one saying that you have to do one particular style of stance. I think it's good because it enables you to move the quickest. It enables you to be in balance all the time. So we're moving, just transferring our weight, and then we're going to take a step. Then we're going to transfer our weight still, and then we'll take a step to the right. Always in the ready position. Step to the left. Always in balance. Always ready to go forward or backwards. Always ready to make a defensive move or an offensive move. You know, you always have to look at your opponent like he's either going to be throwing a kick at you or he's going to be throwing a punch at you. And you never want to get hit with any of those. You don't want to be getting, who wants to get kicked in the head or kicked in the leg or kicked in the chest? Who wants to be punched in the chest or punched in the head? No one does. So your most important thing that you want to work on is your defense. And how to start, the foundation of a defense is your balance. How are you going to maneuver your body in such a way to defend yourself or attack your opponent? And that's all balance. So right now we're working on that balance, shifting. So from the back leg, when you shift your leg, when you shift your weight to the back, and you also, and let's not get ahead of ourselves. Always think of yourself having a pendulum in between your legs. And you want to keep that pendulum in a steady position. So when I say shift your weight to your back leg, I'm not saying shift your leg way back here. I'm saying shift your weight so that you can push off and keep that pendulum steady. So we'll just throw up a basic punch. No step, no nothing, just the shifting of the weight. So we're going back and forth, so bam. Just shifting the weight, throwing that jab. And we're using that gentleman Jim Corbett style, right? So we're just shooting the weight out. This is my defensive move. By me turning that over and putting it in front of my face, my right hand is my defensive catcher's mitt. I am waiting for a baseball to come and hit me in the face. So I'm going jab, defense. Jab, defense. And what's good about having your, in this reverse style, and we're just practicing with this, remember, is it keeps your elbows in. Your elbows are more apt to be in versus being out like this. So we're doing, you know, just a jab, and we're transferring the weight, finding our balance. And the jab always comes off when you're doing a forward offensive jab. The jab always comes off the back leg. When you're coming backwards, when you're doing a defensive jab, it comes off your front leg. So we'll do that. We'll practice that. We'll do forward, now backwards, forward, backwards. We're actually punching off of our front foot. And now, why we're doing that is if I'm fighting and now I'm up to the caution tape and I'm in the strike zone, when I want to get away, sometimes I might want to jab and step back and keep my jab out there and just keep him at bay, keep him on the end of my jab. So I'm pushing off. I'm keeping my opponent on the end of my jab. So we're just going to keep on practicing that, shifting our weight. Bam, bam. We're not taking any steps, we're transferring our weight. We're on the balls of our feet. We're trying to be light. Just moving our weight. Bending our knees a little bit. Just moving that weight. Throwing that jab. Boom. Boom. And the hardest thing to remember too is, and you might say, well, he's not keeping his right hand up. Well, I'm trying to teach you guys and remember to do that. And that's a hard thing to do with defense, is to remember to keep your hands up and block punches, because when you're in that offensive mode, which we all get into, when you just want to hit the guy, you're not thinking of defense. And so it's a good habit just to punch and keep your hands up. Punch and put your hands up. So transferring the weight. So that would be the single jab. Now, with the same push, we're not stepping or anything like that. We're gonna keep it into the gentleman Jim Corbett style, because we're teaching ourselves to turn over our punches properly. We'll do the double jab. So now we're working on the double jab, and we're going to transfer the weight again, back and forth. Weight, when we're going forward with offensive jabs, is coming off the back leg. So we'll do the double jab, and it's the same push. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. So now I'm working on my balance though. I don't want to get too far over. I just want to work easy. Bam, bam. I'm keeping my balance. I'm working on my balance. Now I can tell right now that my balance isn't right. So what I'll do is I'll go back to just going back and forth, trying to work on that. Bam, bam. You know, this is just a drill to work on your balance, nothing else. A simple, simple drill that you can do at home with no one else around. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. Back and forth, work on your balance. I don't like, right now, like I told you guys before, I'm just starting to work out. I've only been working out for 3 weeks. So I feel like my balance isn't there. So what I'll do is I'll go back to just transferring that weight and work on that. I'm going to work on that jab. Even though I'm not fighting and I haven't fought in almost 20 years, I'm still working out like I'm going to be fighting. And you guys should be doing the same thing too. You should still have that mindset that, okay, I'm going to train like a professional fighter or an amateur fighter would train and get in shape that way. So bam, bam, working on that double jab. And when you throw the double jab, you never want to throw it out and bring it back all the way in. You get it out there, keep it out there. Now, a great jabber to watch, who is fantastic at jabbing, is of course Muhammad Ali or Larry Holmes. When they jab, they never bring it back. They always keep it out and kind of flick it out there again. But we're going to try to bring it back halfway and then throw it out. Because again, we're practicing, and these are just practice drills. So bam, bam. Always keeping your balance. Trying to figure out what your balance is. The weight should be coming off your back leg. You should be ending up with your weight on your front leg, but not too much, one way or the other. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. Turning the punch over. That's where you're going to get the snap. That's where you get your speed from the snap. Bam, bam. And you'll see once you start doing this jab with the reversed hands, you're going to see that you're going to get more of a snap on your punch.